Now, magic, especially magic in film, just makes you wonder, how did they get that shot done? How can someone be flying? Like Superman. Back with the original Superman, the movie, Christopher Reeve was on a apparatus and he was in front of a projector screen, and so they shot all the locations and then they played it back and just had him in front of the screen. Now today it's all done in computer. Like, yeah, they have the actors on the apparatus, but they're in front of green screen. They're not really on location. When they are on location, it's only for a little bit, and then the rest of the time they're in front of a green screen. Like, yeah, some green screen work looks realistic, but half the time it's like, okay, fake, 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 not really there, not on location, in a studio. And years ago, it was like, okay, wow, how'd they do that? And yeah, it's magic. Now, probably the biggest known use of magic or misuse is magic's biggest secrets finally revealed, or breaking the magician's code. With the masked magician. He was joined by assistants, they were models, they weren't his real assistants because they'd be tracked down and lose their jobs and everything. So some people tuned in to see them because they were scantily clad and everything, but others tuned in to see the magic. And there was many tricks, like Houdini's milk jug escape. Like, his greatest trick was sabotage. And the producers and even the magician who revealed himself to be Valentino would get death threats. And because why would you do it? Like, if they didn't have all the reveals, it would have been a great magic show. Like Rudy Kobe's magic show back in the day. He was fantastic. And this, production crew thought, hey, let's have a whole heap of magic tricks and show everyone how they did it. Like, in a way, it was showing people how to do the tricks, but they could have done behind the curtain. Like, they could have said, hey, if you want to see how this trick is done, sign up and get our secret hints, learn how to be and become a magician. I'm not much of a magician, like, I can only make things appear and disappear by edits, and editing, that is where magic, all the different resolves and all that, if as long as you stay in the same place, if I really wanted to, I would stand like that, and then there'll be an edit, and then there'll be me in another form. And then, that's magic. So, to get everything working for film, like the AT-ATs in Empire Strikes Back, they were stop motion. They were little miniatures, made of clay, plasticine, probably about that big or so, and they were moved step by step, frame by frame, and then they were composited on with the other footage. So they had the people behind the wall and in the bunker firing at nothing, and then the other person would animate these things step by step, 1, take a shot, 2, shot, 3, shot, 4, and then like that. And then when they did editing and watched the film back, this little AT-AT, which looks big on screen, is walking. And then all the lasers are done in either with pen or so. And back then I was like, wow, how was that done? Did they really make something that big? No, they just had this tiny little toy, move it about, and then the spaceships, about that big, they were on strings, held up, like, then they had firecrackers, fireworks, the Death Star, that's like this huge, big, round cylinder with all the little detail, they had artists making all the towers, all the guns, and then they had cameras zoom in to get all the shots that they needed and everything, and tiny little spaceships, and fireworks and everything. And, Dante's Peak, they have model cars, like remote control cars on a model structure of the road, and that's how they made films back then. And today it's all computer, so yeah, there is magic there, but it's not great magic. That was magical because it worked. It was, let me think here. It broke and made records, okay? It's the second most successful slasher film, or people call it a thriller, some even call it a comedy, but it worked because it was the first sequel of the franchise, and they generally always do well, which is why so many people love Empire Strikes Back, but not many people love The Last Jedi, because that had some magic, but yeah, there's so much, TV, same rules, so it's all about editing, and back with Jason and the Argonauts, it had stop motion, like those fighting skeletons that when you play Killer Instinct, the character Spinal is like based off that, so everything's based off and works and all abracadabra, so, and yeah, I'll scare you later. And another good example of magic in film is Mad Max Fury Road. Most of that was done for real. They had real cars, they had real chases and crashes, and the big explosion with one of the tanker trucks, that was shot separately, because if they did that with everyone else, then there'd be too much chaos. So they filmed that truck going along by itself, and then it exploded, and then they composited that footage onto the other footage, and then they mixed it up and got all the lighting and the construct of it, and so all technical stuff with editing, the compositing and crossovers as well, so it looks like it's done in one shot, but it's actually separate footage mixed with other footage shot earlier or later. And they had, they didn't have miniatures, but they made miniatures to get the idea for the big vehicles, and they were all made, and there's only CGI enhancements and stuff. And back when this was released, they had stage blood, but when a horror film's made today, and even action films, the blood's computer generated. Why? That's not very magic. So, there's a whole lot. Music videos, same thing, cross dissolves, slowly editing, makeup, like with the Wolfman. Wolfie must be asleep. Yeah, the Wolfman, back in the 1940s, part of the Universal Classic Monsters lineup, for him to turn into the wolf, they'd have the actor in one shot, and then they'd take him away, do makeup, add hair, do another shot, and do several shots over and over, the last shot being him in full makeup, and then they just add the shots together, so it would dissolve into the next, and it would look like he's turning into the werewolf. And in An American Werewolf in London, they had prosthetics and other things, and they do reverse of footage, so he'd be in a hole in the ground, and then they have the fake body, which is like him growing, and then so much amazing stuff how they got that shot done. So you have a person pulling the hairs down through this latex body, but they'd reverse the film so they'd be growing, and then the mask would be extending like remote control, and bit by bit. And do we get stuff like that today? Some films it's costume, other films it's CGI, and it's not really magical. So, and that's pretty much about it. I think I've lost my magic touch, so yeah.